Warning, Prospect Watch is not your average hockey podcast, and that's okay with us. Our goal is to introduce you to stars in the making from all over the world. They may not be household names yet, but we assure you they will be soon enough. Welcome to Prospect Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Prospect Watch with your host, Lance Green.
All right, guys. So a very special edition of Prospect Watch here. As you usually know, we usually have some young prospects joining us to get us to get into their minds. But Russ Cohen is here, a amazing talent in the realm that we would like to be in and look up to. So, I mean, we're going to pick his brain here on some of this 2025 draft picks that both of us, or all three of us rather, maybe have interviewed guys from this realm, have seen guys at different games that we've covered. Russ recently went to the combine, so we're pretty knowledgeable about this draft class, and I just want to pick everybody's brain here because there's some very intriguing prospects in this draft. So, Ron, why don't you kind of start it off and give us, the rundown of how we're going to run this.
All right. Well, first of all, Russ, thanks for joining us, man. And we didn't mean to call you old.
No, you didn't, in a roundabout way, anyhow.
I got a lot of gray up here too, so no worries.
Yeah.
We all got in the grave, right? All right. So we're all the gray beards. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what here, Russ. The first thing we would like to do is just kind of get your take on what you got to experience at the combine. We saw a lot of great tweets from you. We saw a lot of great information coming out from you about the combine. We probably had quite a few guys that we even interviewed were there at the combine. I mean, there was 90 players there, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So what was the one player you would name that would probably just hit you right off the top of your head was like, this guy's gonna be the one?
Besides the obvious ones,
aside from the obvious top
I think they separate themselves a little bit from everybody.
Who do you think would be starting to get into like the Flyers range, or like 6 and below? Who do you think is going to be that one guy you think is going to be that sure thing?
Well, I mean, this might surprise you, but I know the Flyers like Victor Eklund a lot, and he's impressive to talk to. And since I can't use Anton Frondell, I'm going to use Victor Eklund because he's a really charming guy. Like, besides being a great player, great skater, terrific passer, I did get into the nitty gritty with him a little bit about the World Juniors because I felt like he was misused. And without him saying he was misused, he said, he was cast in a particular role where he just did the best he could. And that wasn't the best role for his offense. But, he was one of the younger guys, if not the youngest. So, I get it. I think with that knowledge and everything else, I think other teams are going to be very interested in that. And I think that makes him a surefire top 10 for sure.
Okay. Lance, we didn't get to go to the combine, unfortunately, you know what I mean? But we've spoken to quite a few of the top players here, at least that are going to go in the first couple rounds. Who do you think is your surefire guy?
Man, a guy that we interviewed, and one of my favorite players in this draft, I think, is got to be Kayshawn Aitchison. He, for me, is a guy that is a bit of a fast riser, I think, right now too, but just a can't miss guy that I would want on a team. If I was starting a team right now, I would want, me being an old goaltender, I would want a shutdown defenseman.
Yeah.
And, he did that for Barrie, the Colts, up in the OHL this season. And not only did he shut out guys on a nightly basis like Michael Misha, and Porter Martone. He was able to actually lead the team in points as well as a defenseman, guys. He's a left-hand shooting defenseman. Big kid, 6'1", 198. He's not maybe not got the height, but he plays a lot bigger than he is already.
He does.
And
He's very
26
physical.
goals, 33 assists, 59 points from a defenseman. Yes, please. I'll take that. And, very physical player. Just my kind of guy on the back end, can throw the gloves down when he has to defend players. Just an overall amazing kid. When we spoke to him, he just gets it. He knows what his role is. He plays it well. And man, he'd be one of my can't miss guys for sure.
Yeah, the one thing I can add about Krishan, and he's a really great kid, is he's from an athletic family.
Yeah.
He is a guy that is like a cerebral assassin. He will want to get you to not want to go into the corner for the puck after a while. He wants to shut you down.
Yeah.
I don't know if his offense will be as big as it is in juniors. It won't be, but everything else will be really good. And he might be cast in a role where, offense is just going to be secondary, but he can do that other heavy lifting.
As a defenseman, yeah, we really liked his game as a defenseman, and and either way, the offense will come, but he has that mindset of defense first. His coach would come to him and be like, "Hey, we need you to take out Porter Martone for the game," and Porter Martone would not show up on the stat sheet for the game.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm with Lance. I'm for that all day long, right? So I guess my guy, would say, and I know you had some reservations about this, Lance, but we even interviewed him as Roger McQueen. Everything about him just speaks of the NHL as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, he has all the tools. He's in the combine fully healthy. Okay, and when he is fully healthy, we saw what happened with Schaefer. Broken collarbone, missed a good portion of the year. Roger McQueen missed, because of a spine or back injury or whatever, but he's fully healthy, good to go. I would definitely have a Roger McQueen on my team all day long.
Well, I like him, and I think he's a great kid. I did speak to him. I have a video up on my Instagram for him. The thing is, he did say that bigger guys take longer to warm up, and that's not really true, but it's true for him. And it's true for him because he has this back issue that he's now over for the moment, but it can flare up. When you get a crack like he had in the vertebrae, that's what the word is on that. If you look up the term for it, it's something that can definitely have him miss games every season. And his warming up is going to be a lot more than other players. And he's going to take a lot of physical abuse because that's the way he plays, besides having the offense. So he is a can't miss, but he's going to miss games. And that's what you have to wonder is how many, and is it going to turn into a situation like, hey, if you're a team like the Flyers and you draft him, you can't draft him 6, because if he has a Nolan Patrick kind of injury like that, and all of a sudden in 3 years he's out, it's going to be terrible. And I don't hold it against Nolan Patrick. He was a really good player, but those migraines took him out.
Right.
If he has something like that, take him out. That's too much risk. So I can't do it with the 6th pick. So it depends where you pick McQueen. If you're picking him from somewhere like 13, 14 down, fine.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That was my only kind of reservations about him. Great player, was a point per game player, a goal per game player, if my memory serves me right, before he got injured this season, at 6'5", 192 pounds, just a force on the forecheck and everything like that.
He did play in the playoffs, and he did okay. And
he came back for playoffs and everything, and he participated at the combine.
And he talked about getting misdiagnosed, and that's frustrating. That happens to players.
Right. So yeah, he was misdiagnosed for a short time. Instead of going out and being able to get the surgery that he needed to be able to come back earlier, he was kind of misdiagnosed. So he kind of, it stinks that this really happened to him in his draft season. But
yeah,
man, I really like this kid, but like Russ said, man, if I'm a team like the Flyers or somebody in that realm of that 6 through 10, I might pass on him and take another guy just because I wouldn't want that Nolan Patrick. And I wrote about that in one of my Flyers mock drafts.
Yeah.
And saying that,
Yeah.
I would pass on him. There's tons of players like that, and Anton Frondell was kind of injured. He had a little bit of a wrist injury. A lot of players that are in that
Actually,
realm.
Frondell's really okay. Actually,
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
watch,
he's 100% now.
if you watch the way he worked out, he excelled. And I have a video of him just doing the vertical leap on Instagram, and it's really good. And
Impressive.
he was first in Wingate. So don't worry about Frondell. He's fine.
Okay.
Right.
So
So
I wanted to just kind of say that name because we do like him, but the reservations that we had, and I wanted to get your take on it, Russ, on
with
what
McQueen.
on McQueen. Because of kind of where we thought we were. Lance was spot on. You pretty much confirmed where Lance was coming from. You know what I mean? He is pretty much a can't miss guy, but like you said,
Yeah.
he'll potentially miss games. Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right, Lance, what do you think? The next player you got on your list there, boss?
As far as can't miss, or what are we talking about?
Well, let's go with well, we already kind of did can't miss guys, so let's go with say fast risers.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say a guy that for me is a fast riser, and I'm hearing a lot about his name now. And it's a guy, again, who we interviewed earlier in the year when kind of nobody really knew about him. And this is before World Juniors and everything like that, is Aliyah Nullenswander, goaltender from Switzerland. Really showed up this year at World Juniors. um 18-year-old, 6'4", 198 pounds. He's a guy who is a bit of a traditional goaltender, stand-up guy, and a lot of teams are kind of buzzing on him right now because of that. He really didn't get a chance to get up to the top level of pro hockey over there in the National League because of the team that he was on. But definitely a guy that I'm going to say is a fast riser right now, and that people should be really looking out for.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke to him, and he told me he met with the Flyers. I didn't have many viewings of him, and I'm not a goalie expert, but I looked at him just the other night, and mostly liked what I saw. I felt like the glove needs to be improved. I felt like I asked him a question, Lance, about him going into the RVH too early. Like, does he do that? Because some goalies do that and they kind of give it away. And he did admit that he's very committed to RVH. So you hope that somebody talks to him and maybe can get him to be hybrid at times, because just being 6'4" doesn't always do it, as you know, because we see how guys are very coy about that as you move up the ladder. But everything else looked good. Like, that's my only criticism.
Yeah, I
Okay.
find it with goaltenders, and I mean, I coach young goaltenders and everything like that too. It's a lot easier to take a kid who's in a stand-up style goaltender and get him to go down a little bit more to cover plays up and stop plays, so you can change lines and everything like that, rather than reverse and get a guy that's butterfly, as
Right.
soon as they cross the blue line, and then get him to kind of try to stand up more. It's easier
Yeah.
the other way around for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So Russ, who do you think would be a fast riser? Who do you have in the draft that would be a fast riser? I guess you would say.
Yeah, I think Jacob Romback, 6'5" or 6" defenseman.
Something like that.
Uh,
Yeah.
as I kept speaking more to guys in the USHL, they were like, he was one of the hardest guys to deal with, harder guys to play against. I think I don't know if no, I didn't put up a video on him yet, because I'm going to be writing a feature on him for Elite Prospects. So that'll come out soon. And I did kind of put it to him. Like, I was asking him about, are you a good skater, or are you a good skater for a big guy? Like, which is it? And
Yeah.
he said, no, if you say I'm a good skater for a big guy, I take that as a compliment. So I feel like he passed that test. He's a very humble kid, but he can be physical.
Yeah.
he can actually get the puck to the net, which is a thing where you kind of wonder once in a while a defenseman can do that.
Yeah.
He's not a big offensive guy, but if he can do that, and I still think his skating can get a little better. I know he's going to get stronger. Like he's nowhere near where his man strike's going to be. So I feel like
Man,
now he's definitely in the first round. How much further up in the first round can he go? Like
Yeah.
he's probably, 22, 23 and on.
Right.
Teams probably start thinking about him.
Okay. And he was one of the kids we interviewed too.
Yeah, we
Combine,
definitely
yeah.
interviewed him this season, and he's a big kid, man.
He is.
6'6", over
Yeah.
200 pounds now. He just seems to keep growing. He
Yeah.
doesn't skate like a 6'6" player.
No.
Yeah.
He's a lot
But I think
more.
the stride will get better as when he's done
Yeah,
growing.
yeah. I've seen it even this season, as far as his stride, and it's something he's still working on for sure. And I think every big defender or even a forward is going to be working on that
Yeah.
at 18 years old for sure. Yeah, he scored 3 goals this year, 15 assists for 18 points, was a plus 29. That's what I really
Yeah,
liked about
that's the
him.
big thing.
Plus player in the USHL.
Lance loves them
USHL is
plus
getting to be
players.
a lot better league. In that aspect, a lot more guys are coming over from overseas to play in the USHL, and it's getting to a lot better quality. I really like him. He played for the Lincoln Stars, and like Steel said, we interviewed him as well, and couldn't have enough nice things to say about this guy. And I think he's going to be definitely one of those kids that is going to be bumping up after the combine, and teams getting the chance to actually speak at this guy, and hearing him and how well he's put together already. He'll be bumping up people's draft for sure.
Yep. I agree 100%. That's a great name, Russ. We really like that name.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tossing around Lyndon Lakovic.
Mm-hmm.
Really like this kid's game. Really like what he was able to do in the WHL for the Moose Jaws. Was able to put up some good points. Has good body. Has I I see I see a higher ceiling for him. Like I don't think he's met his ceiling yet. You know what I mean?
No way.
Right. So and he's young too. So that's kind of the guy that I think would be a fast riser because I think if you look at him, maybe early second round, maybe even I would even say late first round, maybe even no.
I have him higher. I mean, I'm more
Okay.
bullish on him than most. I have him at 11 because I'm gonna back it up because when I saw him there, I saw like a guy who's like thighs and such aren't fully developed at all.
Right.
And I wonder when he puts on that extra 25 pounds of muscle and then that core gets big.
Yep.
Man, I mean,
It'd
and
be
usually
tough.
when you come up with a list, there's a variance of 5 or more.
Yeah.
So that would put him around 16 or so. Do I think someone might go for him 16 to 20? Yeah, I think that somebody might because he's a package. Now, he did say he is never going back to playing center because I asked him about it because he played when he was around 15. He said
Right.
he's fully comfortable being that power winger. So I like him for that. There's not that many of those guys that are effective scoring like he is in this draft. Like there's Martone, and I think he's one of the next best guys in that.
So that's why I picked him as my fast riser because of
Yep.
that exact reason there. I think he follows in that same Martone kind of mold where he's able to, do the things he's able to do offensively. So okay.
Yeah, I think we interviewed him early on in the season, and big power forward, 6'4", 190 pounds. His numbers went up obviously as they should in a draft year, where he had 18 goals the season before. Now he had 27. That's getting into a lot better realm, and he had 39 points. His draft -1 season. Now he had 58, and the only stat that I think a lot of people before the combine really had him slotting down from where he originally was. Like I'm very high on him too, Russ, as far as I think that maybe 12 to 15 range he might pop out nicely, or if he does drop, I think a lot of teams will be shooting up and making some
Oh, yeah.
calls to kind of get
Yeah.
him because
Okay,
it might
yeah.
be one of the guys they have on their board. But that minus 25 stat, I don't think Moose Jaw was as dominant as they have been in years past. And I
Agreed.
think that really hurt his stock having that minus because he
Sure,
wasn't
it doesn't
a
help
minus
him.
player the year before.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of hurt him. But getting back into that combine and just seeing how powerful he is, and everything like that, and how well he too can skate is something that is gonna get that stock back up maybe to where it should be.
I mean, just to put things into perspective, I mean, let's say he's 192 pounds, right? James Higgins is now 185 pounds.
Right.
So
It
he's
doesn't
got
take
some
long.
growing.
Right. Oh yeah.
I can
Oh
think
yeah.
there's
He's
some
gonna
growing to do.
take
Yeah.
another year or two to kind of fill out,
Yeah.
and learn to play with that body mass and everything. And I think it's only gonna do him well because
Yeah.
the physical game that he plays already.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So now we'll go with what do you think, Lance? A sleeper pick?
Yeah, a hidden gem or a
Or
sleeper
a
pick.
hidden gem or
Sure.
a sleeper? And we'll go with our guest first
Sure.
on this one here, Russ. What do you think about like a hidden gem or a sleeper?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with David Lewandowski. Uh,
Wow.
German kid,
Yep.
might have played for Saskatoon. I forget which team. Interesting guy, really good shot. Liked him in international play. Had a really good season. Spoke to him. 9 teams spoke to him, and I think that says something because I don't think he was on anybody's radar early in the year. He got on my radar mid-year,
Okay.
and yeah, so I think there's something there. And I like the kid. I thought he was an interesting guy. I may end up writing about him. So yeah, I think there's something there with him, and we'll see. Like we'll see what happens, but he's probably going to be like a third, fourth rounder, I think. But there's some offensive ability there.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. I was trying to get in touch with him and his people all year long
I
and
was
failed to do
waiting.
it.
I was just waiting for him to say that. That's
Oh my
all.
gosh, I like him as well, Russ. I've been on him about that same time
Yeah.
span where he kind of really before he came over. I think he came over to the Blades late or a little bit into the
A
season.
little bit into it.
Yeah.
I thought he showed well in the World Juniors.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
There's a
there
couple of
in
there's a
Canada
couple
for
of
that.
German guys that really
Yeah.
showed out well this year, and we interviewed some of the other ones, but couldn't get David on the show. But
I did, and I'll probably write about him. So
All right.
nice,
Well,
nice,
cool. We'll be
nice.
looking for that one.
Good deal, good deal.
So, Lance, who do you got as your sleeper hidden gem?
Man, I got about like a list as long as
Yeah,
my
right.
arm
Me
here.
too.
You
Like,
gotta
pick one.
make me pick one.
All right, pick one.
Man, if I had to pick anybody, I'm gonna go Carter Amico. I think
Okay.
that's how you say it. Russ, correct me if I'm wrong.
Amico. It's Amico.
Amico.
Is the way
Amico.
he was.
I've heard different announcers say it like all different.
Okay.
Amico. I love this kid. U.S. national team, 6'6" defenseman, 234 pounds, mobile defenseman at that. His reach, I mean, is that of a 7-foot center in the WNBA or I'm sorry, NBA. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited about Carter here. He is a player that also got hurt this year, so I think his stock
A couple of times.
a lot. And man, just a physical presence. When I'm talking physical guys, I think he's one of the most physical players in the draft.
Well, he's punishing.
When he hits you, you're laid out on the ice. It's not just taking you out of the play. It's taking you out of reality. Like you're crawling back to the bench, trying to ask what's the plate number of that truck that hit you.
Okay.
That is how physical this guy is. I'm thinking a Dustin Bufflin in a sense, but without maybe the offensive.
Yeah, he doesn't have that
so much. No, he doesn't have that offense.
He's going to be more of a shutdown guy.
He's going to be more of that shutdown defenseman. Just amazing young player that I think a lot of people, he only played in 13 games this year. A lot of guys
Well,
didn't get the time to see him play, but he's committed to Boston University, and I'm really excited to get to see him there in a program, because he's not a guy we're talking about that's going to be a year away or something like that. He's gonna probably play a couple of years in the NCAA, especially bigger defensemen. They take a little
oh
bit
yeah.
longer, but he's going to be somebody special that I'm going to keep an eye on for right now.
Yeah, I did speak to Carter, and of course, teams want to know about his injuries, and he was pretty open about it. Now, he did get a similar injury twice this year, so that was a little concern about that.
Right.
He looks to be in good shape. I did have him as a first rounder after the Fall Classic, but then I had to take him out when he just kept getting injured. So
Yeah.
I think he'll be one of those first 10, 12 picks in the second round.
That's where I kind of had him too. A lot of teams it depends who falls, obviously, as every
Right.
year you have some players that you think are definite first round picks that are going to fall. And, once those kind of guys go, I think some teams are going to take a chance with a second round pick, especially if they have multiple second round picks. There's a couple of teams out there that have multiple second round picks. So I see as one of them possibly taking a chance on them, allow them to go to college for a year or two,
Yeah.
and just watching, that
Yeah.
this player unfold there.
Okay, I'm gonna throw the whole monkey in the wrench here, and I'm gonna go with a name that I don't think he was at the combine, but I'm gonna go with Aiden Park.
Oh,
And
Aiden Park. Yeah, I interviewed him last year.
okay, this kid, now I know he's +1 on his draft year because his draft year was last year, and he's +1, but he admitted to us that he was not ready to be drafted last year. Admitted that to us, right?
Okay.
And when you come out and admit that to me and then say, this year was a much better year, I did things much differently, way better. And everything that I've seen from him, his numbers are there. He's got good size. He's 6'1", like 187 pounds, something like that. He's got all the tools. He's definitely not going to go in the first round. You know what I mean? But I definitely think he's a sleeper. I think
His uncle was a good player.
Yes.
right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, he even mentioned about him as well too. So I mean, I really think he was going to be a sleeper. Some team is going to pick him up and get a good player, I think.
I'll give you one more sleeper too, because
That's
this guy's
fine.
easy to
We can do a
forget.
couple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
really.
he's a +1. Charlie Serrato, who played at Penn State.
Oh yeah.
He was really good in the regionals.
Yep.
He's fast. I think
Yep.
back in the day he was with the program for a little while. He he can make plays at speed. He really was like a lightning bolt at times for Penn State. I want to say he was playing second line for them and was really good. And so yeah, I think, third round, late second, I think you might hear Charlie Serrato's name.
That's oh man, that's a good name too. We got to see him firsthand at the regionals. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
that man, he's a
Yeah.
good one. Oh, well, Lance, well, okay, so bonus sleeper?
Definitely
Should we do a
bonus
bonus
sleeper.
sleeper?
We could stay on for a couple hours doing these
You know?
sleepers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All
But
right. Bonus
I-
sleeper.
a right-hand shooting defenseman from the London Knights, who obviously just made a heck of a run here. Henry Berderkowitz.
Brushevitz.
What is it?
Brushevitz.
Bershevitz.
For seven. Okay.
Awesome. I'm horrible with name, guys. I'm sorry. But
Okay.
yeah, OHL player, 6'1", 194 pounds, right hand shot. Really great puck moving defenseman, man. He can skate, he can take it from behind the net and carry it all the way down there and cut right in front of the goaltender and put a shot on that himself. He can make an excellent outlet pass from, behind his own goal line,
Yeah.
right to the opposing team's blue line to break one of his wingers. Obviously he was on a great team this season. But he's a guy that was maybe overshadowed by so many names that were in London.
Yeah.
You know, just so many guys
He didn't
and
have the
guys
greatest
that were
Mem
already
Cup run, though.
drafted and everything as
You
well.
know,
So
his Mem Cup run wasn't probably what he'd want it to be,
no,
but everything else I liked. I have him ranked 28th. I mean, I really like him.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So who's your bonus sleeper pick there, Russ?
Bonus sleeper. Let's go Philip Ekberg because he's a smaller guy.
Okay.
Absolutely ripped it up in, I think it was the U18s for him. He played for the 67s. It's
Okay.
funny because defensive zone starts, he gets 27%. So even though he's a smaller guy, really good. He he had 4 goals in the first U18 game. So that was what kind of like got him going, but he's feisty. And also very disciplined. Not many penalties against him. Really
Ooh,
good skater, really good scorer, but he is a smaller guy. And just to tell you, at this combine, there were only like 10 to 12 smaller guys, like less than 6 feet. It's not a lot. So
no.
I don't know where he might go in this draft, but at some point, somebody's going to look at the offense and say, can this project? And you do have to, project him a bit. And he's a 5'10", like the other guys, but he had a nice year. And I think he could go like, 5th, 6th, 7th round.
But you know what though, Russ? I think a guy that's 5'10" is a little bit more has a little bit more kind of meat on the bone to work with than a guy that's 5'9". I know it's only 1 inch. Do you know what I mean? But it's that perception, it's that double digit. Then you
Yeah,
put
sure.
skates on the guy. You know what I mean?
Cole Resney's 5'10", Cullen Potter's 5'10". I get it. Like Adam Banak's 5'7", right? So that's a bit different.
It's a little bit different. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Another guy in that realm who's a kind of a sleeper is Jordan Gavin. I really like Jordan Gavin. He was a guest of ours as well. And you saying limited penalty minutes made me think of him because he's had none in the past like couple seasons, 2 or 3 seasons.
In 3 seasons, he's had 1 penalty.
Right.
He has 2 penalty minutes in 3 seasons.
Right. Wow. So a guy who scored 21 goals this year and 57 points in 68 games played was traded halfway through the season to the Wheat Kings as well. So kind of had to pick up and make do there. But a guy that is versatile offensively. Yeah, I mean, Steel, why don't you give us somebody? You got anybody?
So I have potentially 1 or 2 here, and I'm kind of bouncing between them. But I'm going to throw out Malcolm Spence.
Yeah,
like this kid as a center / winger. He seems like a quiet enough Joe, but there's fire in that young man. Okay, and I think maybe a 5th or 6th round pick for him would be right in where he should probably
go. He's going first.
I'll stop you right there, Ron. He's going first round.
He's going first round.
I had to throw that out there. I was just kidding.
Okay.
I was just kidding.
All right.
No.
Definitely not sleeping.
Out there.
Teams aren't definitely not
he's
sleeping.
Not sleeping
on this
like
guy that much.
No, I know.
No.
But he is a guy who I think has come down later in the first round because so many teams are searching for, as always, centers, right? There's so many centers. Teams are looking for centers. This is a kid predominantly plays left wing. He's due to go to Michigan. So, if Michigan wants him, he's going to be good. Right. And he quietly, if that's possible, had 32 goals this year and 73 points. I mean,
he plays a heavy game. He's real good.
He's good kid out of Erie and
6'2", 200 and some pounds already.
Yeah, I mean everybody's looking at Erie and thinking Schaefer, but this kid had a pretty fine season of his own.
He has a high floor for me, so I ranked him 13th because of his high floor.
That's awesome. I mean, quality kid, like just said, we interviewed.
He's a quality guy. We spoke to him. I spoke to him. I really like him.
I really liked him. So, I mean,
that's a lot of people in the realm of where I was thinking. That's kind of in the realm of where I was thinking, Russ. Like between 13, maybe, and or between 13 and maybe 17, within that that little gap right there. I was just kidding with 5th or 6th round, man.
I just had to make sure,
If we want to dive in, later we can. But no, I think that is pretty good, man. It gives us some great guys to kind of keep an eye out for in this draft. Yep. So many people that cover the draft or anything like that, or say they do, don't really have the knowledge past the first round. And that is why we look to you, Russ, as a guy that is all knowing in that aspect.
The standard, as far as we're concerned.
We'd like to dive deep into the draft, and I think you're one of the only guys out there that really can dig as deep and does throughout the season as much as we do. And man, I mean, we're just thankful to have you on the show. We definitely look up to you as far as me as the writer, and Steel as just a person doing this trend here with these prospects. And we appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been covering the draft since 01, and I try and up my game every year. It's hard to do, but I do. This year I did only do a first round. I didn't even go 45 because I think once you get past 45, 50, there's a lot of guessing in this draft.
It is.
Doesn't mean there's not going to be some good players, but there's going to be a lot of guessing. I did want to plug my book because Father's Day is coming up, and it's out recently. So that's called Game Winners, and it's the greatest game-winning goals in NHL and Olympic history. So there's some real good ones in there. Flyers fans would certainly like it. There's there's Winter Classic. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So, and also my draft site is NHLDraftBuzz.com. But when I cover the big events, it's always at sportsology.com. So like Ron said, like the NCAA articles on there. My interview with Ravensburgen is on Draft Buzz, and some of these other interviews will be on Draft Buzz. And my Instagram's at Sportsology. I've been putting up basically a post a day, maybe 2 posts a day for video interviews too. So yeah,
for sure,
and
man.
We'll loop all that in. You guys can look in the comment section of this and the description of the show, and all those links will be there for you to go to, just as we always do, to get the latest that Russ is.
But I love your guys' passion. When I met you, I knew you really enjoy doing this too. So it's great.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. You have no idea what that means to us to hear that from somebody like you, Russ, that, we're not just a flash in the pan kind of thing. We've been doing this for quite a while. We've gotten quite a few young guys that we've spoken to, and we're looking to just continue to grow and grow and grow and continue to do this. Would love to be up there with you in Buffalo. Would love to
now
be
LA. So now it'll be LA.
Okay, well, wherever. All right, I know.
I'm just saying that's where the draft is. That's where I'll be.
Yeah. That's the next step, right?
Like the next step is the draft, right? But I mean the combine in Buffalo, and and so things of that nature. All right. Well, Lance, what do you think there? I think we got a really good one here, man. We tuned everybody into probably one of the best prospect folks that we could possibly get on the planet to hear to talk about some of his sleeper picks and some of his picks as well. So what do you think, Lance?
Always fun picking Russ's brain, whether we see him at a game or, shooting him a message about a kid here and there, seeing what he's, seen in this kid, or if he spoke to him before we do. Always good to have Russ as a friend, and hopefully he'll come on with us, more often.
Thank you.
Here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Friend of the show.
Thank you very much. Well, folks, I'm your co-host Ron SteelFlyers, and this has been a really special episode of Prospect Watch, and we'll catch you all on the next one.